When you start having children, boys, you're going to start looking at things differently. You'll look at things a whole lot different.
I mean, if we don't give them vaccine, they'll die at the age of 3.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
How did we ever make it this far without pharmaceuticals?
Because our life
high
birth rates and high death rates.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
The strongest survive.
That's what they tell you. That's what they tell you, but that's not true.
Yeah, 15 kids.
That's not true.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you
It's
get the
not
farm.
true.
Yeah, that's how you get the farm.
Our life expectancy has only gone up.
My mother's 91 and she never had vaccines.
Okay, that's one example.
One example.
One example.
Well, then you have to believe what you want to
How will we
believe.
make it this far?
It's natural selection.
Yeah.
People in the 1800s and the 1700s had a life expectancy of about 40.
No, that's a
about
lie.
twice that.
That's a lie.
They had 150.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
What else is a lie?
A lot is a lie.
Or the Holocaust.
Do you want to know something about that?
Yeah.
There's no population census difference of 6 million. So what are they doing? Why are they making it sound like it's 6 million? There's no population census to evidence that. And guess what else? Did you know about Eisenhower's death camps? Our own president, he brought the German soldiers back and he put them in these wire fences and starved them all to death. So the pictures that you're seeing of these starving men are really the German soldiers.
And the Holocaust, is that what you're saying?
The Holocaust never happened.
No, that's you. You said. You said that. Don't try and put some words in my mouth.
Kind of what you said, though.
No, I'm giving you questions to ask.
So
I'm giving you a question to ask.
This is a real great way
Okay?
of convincing people. Like yelling at them.
No, I don't care. He's going to mouth off to me. I'm going to give it right back. There's no reason for him to be that way. Or you.
What I do? You will see that.
I don't know. I just know that there's enough to question it.
I just want to be educated.
Well, to be educated, sometimes you have to close your mouth and listen. And I don't see you doing that yet, buddy.
I feel like I've learned a lot.
What's at the edge of the?
Did you get one of these?
Nah. What's around the earth?
This is Antarctica. Right here. Do you know what? They mock us all the time. The Simpsons is a mockery. They're showing us the truth, and they tell us it's funny. And then we are afraid to look at it. That's how they do it. You know, Obama mocked the Flat Earth Society. We don't have time for the Flat Earth Society. He mocked it 3 times in speeches. Why is that? Because he was conditioning us. It's a psychological conditioning. So we don't go there. We don't look at it. We don't want to be mocked. People don't want to be mocked.
Out of curiosity, how old is the Earth?
I don't know that.
Probably like 2,000 years old.
I'm only teaching you that it's flat.
At least 10.
That's not funny.
Did you get one? All right.
What is the difference between being educated lies and being uneducated? Nothing.
That's right. That's right. Does that make sense to you?
Oh man, all I know.
Does it make sense?
-1.
Oh, wait, hold on.
You can look it up yourself if you want. Take a serious look. Ask a serious question, and I'll help it. I'll answer your serious questions. Well, there is a rate of fall, so things do fall, but I don't think that we're being pulled down. I think we're being pushed down by diamagnetism. I think we live inside a toroidal field, and that's why there's the aurora borealis.
Oh, just like in the Bible.
What?
The book of Genesis in the Bible. You see the earth, you have the earth. It's sitting on earthen pillars, like rocks, you know. And from there, you have a field surrounding it, and then on top of the field is water, and occasionally.
No, the dome is not the field. The toroidal field is.
Dome or is it plastic?
It's a metaphor.
From what we understand, it's crystalline. That's the only thing we have in ancient documents that is crystalline.
What element would that be?
I don't know.
I would have to think it's
the only thing we have a clue by looking at Iranian desert glass.
Iranian desert glass.
Yes, there is something there, and it's a very unusual substance, and that's what we kind of think maybe the inner dome. When the world flood happened, do you know what they call the Milky Way? That's really a great scar in the dome. It's a rift, the Great Rift. So you can look this up.
What's beyond the dome?
I'm sorry?
That's beyond the ground.
Why don't you ask a question that's down to earth?
Oh, okay. Tell them about water.
The hotel hallway.
Like a pizza. Yeah, see, if you had taken this card, you could see that the earth is round. You're correct.
But you're saying the earth is flat.
It's flat like this.
So it's either flat or round.
No.
Come to the middle. Come to the middle right now.
No, it's round and it's flat, but it's not spherical. It's not spherical like this.
Right now, ASAP.
Antarctica goes around the outside edge. Just like this. All these world organizations use the flat Earth map, but they leave off Antarctica because they don't want you to know that it goes around the outside edge.
Sorry, it's not funny.
Wait, what about planes and stuff? Like,
Look, you can have your
Planes
own
are
map.
illusionary.
Planes don't exist.
By that logic. Oh, and rocket ships, they
And if you look up this website,
she said it. And as
here,
soon as they get
all of this
the video feed
is here on this, so you can look at these
they
pictures
don't actually go
again.
into space. Space doesn't
Would you like it now?
Who
Good.
runs these governments?
You're welcome.
space?
She said space doesn't exist.
Wait, space doesn't.
Outer space does not exist. NASA gets...
About 93 miles
What's
away.
around the Earth? I don't understand.
Wait,
Right.
we can't have an
Wait, so what's around the
breathe
Earth?
without an atmosphere. What's around the Earth?
There's no difference in that. There's still an atmosphere. Still, we have air. It's called the
Air
ether.
conditioning pumping into the. What's around? What's
Around
around
that's only
the?
93 miles away.
Now wait a minute.
Yeah,
If you have this, if you have a spinning ball,
Yeah.
okay, and outer space, hey guys,
I might know some
Hey.
things about that.
if you have a spinning ball and outer space is a vacuum,
Yeah.
then where's the barrier? You cannot have a pressure system next to a vacuum without a physical barrier. You cannot. There is no example of that anywhere. So where is your physical barrier? It has to be a physical barrier. A pressure system will always travel towards a low pressure system.
Yeah, I don't
And
understand.
there's,
It's
it does not
93
work.
miles. You just like shoot. You can hit it. Can you hit the barrier?
Well,
The dome.
you want to know? Look up Operation
I
Fishbowl.
thought you were going to tell us.
And so what hit it? So
Operation Fishbowl.
Beyond the barrier. Who created it?
Do you want to hear this or not?
and who created the barrier?
The military sent up many bombs in Operation Fishbowl. Yeah, I'm not making that up. It's in military documents. You have to look it up. You have to look it up. See?
Don't tell me.
No. Then you're believing me. And then you're not an independent, free-thinking person. I want you to be free-thinking.
Bro, I don't want to look it up.
There's
You
no
just
such
tell
thing
me.
as free thinking. That doesn't exist.
What
your,
the
your
hell
train
is
of thought and
beyond
your path
the
has to
dome?
come from somewhere. Everything's influenced by something else.
I want you to do your own research, because if you don't, you'll be subject to somebody your whole life.
Yeah, but you did your
If we
own
listened
research
to
and
you,
became
we would be
Yeah, I
subject to
did.
you.
I've been
That
studying
doesn't
this
make
2.5
any
years, and I tested everything I could.
What do you mean you tested?
Okay, so
Did you go up there yet? I'll come up
It's
with you next
honestly
time.
not-
you go.
Yeah, I looked up lightning sprites, and that's
you go
enough
up there?
for me
Yeah, but
to
you're
know
listening
that
to
there's
someone
something
else.
up there. There's something up there.
Would you ever travel to the edge?
Would I ever go there? Well, no, because you know why?
You'll never know.
The military does not want this secret out.
Okay,
If the government was totally, all the guys who held office, if they were out of office and the people were really in control again, then I would go.
What?
Okay? But the guys who are in control right now, they want to keep this secret so bad they kill
who
people.
runs the government?
It is the New World Order.
Who runs the government? The Illuminati?
The kings. The kings. The kings. The same kings that were in power. It's the same bloodlines. George Bush and all them, they're all related by blood.
Oh, they are. Well, I mean George Bush and George H.W.
You can look it up.
Explain a lunar eclipse then.
Why?
Wouldn't the shadow on the moon be flat?
To you.
We are studying the eclipses, okay?
Well, wouldn't the shadow at least once in a while be flat?
No,
on the moon?
the Earth never gets in between the sun and the moon, so that doesn't happen.
It always casts our shadow into
There
space.
is talk of other heavenly bodies up there, so like Rahu, Ketu, it could be that. I really don't know. But this last eclipse we had last August, there was a lot of anomalies with that, like those little patterns on the ground. Did you see those?
I mean, I saw.
Okay, I was outside. I saw it. So there's a lot of things that are strange and weird that we don't know about. But
I just feel like if it was flat, like a disc, it would have to be a flat shadow on the moon. And
no, you're talking about a frisbee. You think it's not a frisbee?
Wait, are the other?
We don't know what's underneath of it. It could be like half of this. It could extend
like
forever.
An iceberg, it's flat,
Are the other?
It could extend forever. We don't know.
Are the other?
We don't know that. The what?
Are the other planets flat?
The only thing you can see in the telescope is a two-dimensional object. I can't say any more than that.
From space. Earth is round.
Just the same as.
There are CGI. There are green screens. You have to look this
You think
up.
all astronauts are
Look. Yeah. Well, except the original guys. Did you see the guys? They came back.
Conspiracy theory that they didn't even land on the moon. So
That's right. They didn't. They didn't. You can't land on the moon. I think it's a filament. Look at this.
It's a light bulb.
When they're, yeah, the sun and the moon are light bulbs. They give off their own light, and it's different kind of light. You have to look into that. Look, when they're inside the ISS, they do this, the vomit comet. When they're outside, they're in the pool, the desalinated pool. We have something called bubbles in space. Bubbles in space. Look up that. Yeah, who put that light bulb up there? You have to ask yourself that question.
If the sun and the moon spin above the flat Earth on a horizontal plane, then how do lunar and solar eclipses occur when one is in front of the other?
Essentially, when the sun sets...
Well, the sun can be occluded, okay, like we saw last August.
Yeah, how do you get sunburn from a light bulb?
We still have an atmosphere.
You can. I have a sun lamp at home, and you get burned by that. So, I don't know. There could be other heavenly bodies up there. I don't know. We're looking into that. We're researching it. But there were anomalies from the last eclipse that we had. And we're still researching it. And everybody, the government is telling us one thing. It's really hard. It's hard to figure this stuff out. We don't have the money they do.
Well, what's the benefit to lying, saying the Earth is, not flat?
Well, because the kings didn't want the serfs to read. Because the serfs, if they were educated, they'd be harder to control. So what's the difference between being educated with lies or being uneducated? There's no difference to that. So they're telling us lies. We think we're smart, and yet we don't really know anything. Because it's not reality.
Are we in the Matrix?
I've seen the Matrix. When I came to this, I said, holy crap. Yes.
We're living inside the Matrix.
Yes, we are. And you don't really understand that until you see how much they are lying to us. You have to really look at this. It all came very clear to me when I figured this out. Did you all get one of these? You can look it up yourself.
Nah.
I take an intelligent question, but look, the water in this bottle is level on the top, right? It's all flat.
Kind of, but it's not really. I mean, it's like slightly tilted off to the side.
Stand over here so I can smack you.
Alright.
I'm kidding. But look, the horizon will always be at your eye level. I take this down the shore and I say, do you think that horizon's at your eye level? Well, I think it's a little bit lower, he says. I said, put this up to your eyeball. Oh, yeah, I see it is. See, well,
If you're in Europe, why can't you see New York on the other side?
did you ever drive in a fog?
Drive in fog?
Yeah, you can't see in front of you. So you stretch that out from here to Spain and you can't see it.
Then why can you see the distinct point where the horizon disappears from your vision?
It's called perspective. When two planes come together,
Why
They crash.
blocking that out?
well, because you can see that far in front of you. You can see that. That's where the horizon is. Everybody has a different horizon. Sometimes your eyes can see further, right? The horizon is never exactly the same every day. And no matter how high you go, when you're in an airplane or on top of Mount Everest, it's always at your eye level. Anybody ever fly in a plane? If you're going to fly in a plane, look out the window. Where's the horizon? It's right up here at your eye level. You're never looking like down.
I'm looking down.
you can look down at the ground, but the horizon. The horizon. Did your mother send you to your room a lot? I'm telling you, you are really difficult.
She did send me to my room a lot.
I'm kidding you. Same way. Here's the Tropic of Cancer up here. So this is our summer, and it goes around. And then you go down to the equator, that's fall and spring. Then it goes out to Capricorn, and it moves around there. And it goes much faster when it's in Capricorn, because you'll see that Capricorn is much larger than it is on the globe. On the globe, Cancer and Capricorn are the same size, but not on the flat Earth model. It just moves faster. The sun will move faster. Talk to your friends on Facebook who are down below the or outside of the equator, and ask them, how fast does the sun move?
No one uses Facebook anymore.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, Facebook.
I do. I guess I'm an old fart, right?
What happened to the hemispheres?
Excuse me, man.
Where are they at?
It needs to be enlightened.
I need a handout. This is awesome.
Yes. You're welcome. Ask a question. Go ahead.
So, what are these hemispheres in the flat Earth?
Well, there aren't spheres because it's not a sphere.
I'm a disc. Okay, but where are the hemispheres?
So this says hemispheres because hemi means two, and sphere is half of a sphere then. So we don't have that. All you have is the flat plane. And there's the equator. So east and west is just, circumnavigating is exactly the same. Just going around. One of these days, you're going to take one of these. I know you will. Because you want to look this up. You've been standing here.
Did James Cook build the Antarctic ice wall, and did the Eskimos pay for it?
Does anybody have an intelligent question?
Where does gravity originate? Is the gravitational force just another horizontal plane?
I think that things fall, and there's a rate of fall. We can calculate that. But I don't think we're being pulled down. I think we're being pushed down from above.
By what? No, bro.
By by this, right there. Diamagnetism. I think we live in a toroidal field, which is electromagnetism. You know there's free-flowing electricity up there.
Yeah.
Okay, you know that. So where's that come from? The toroidal field.
What?
The negative charge around the positive.
So, and I think that's why the free-flowing electricity goes through the sun, which is a positive, and the moon's a negative. That's why I think it's different light. It has its own light.
Wouldn't the gravity just go straight across from the sun to the moon?
Gravity? Why? No, gravity is not in this model at all.
Well, wouldn't the force that pushes us down, then wouldn't it push us sideways in the direction that the sun is facing the moon?
No.
So if the moon's over there and the sun's over here.
No, here we go. All right, let's talk about a compass. Okay? How does a compass work in Australia?
It's upside down.
Australia's upside down. Everything's upside down. I've been there once.
No.
Here's
Australia. The compass points to where? There's a compass point. North Pole, right? Yeah. So here's Australia down here, and it points to the North Pole. Does it go through the Earth?
Kinda.
The compass is actually.
Doesn't that make a whole lot more sense here? If you could be in Australia and it points to North Pole.
Magnetic fields are spheres.
Okay, out of curiosity, if I was to dig a hole deep enough, just hypothetical, what would happen?
8 miles is the deepest we've ever dug. So I can't go past that. I'm going to deal with reality. I'm not going to deal with hypotheticals.
Yeah, the core's too hot.
Huh?
Hypothetically speaking.
That's why
No, how can you know that? If we've only dug 8 miles deep.
On the stove?
How deep is the center of the Earth?
Because we went like 8
How
miles
deep?
deeper. We realized, oh,
How
shit,
deep is the
it's
center of the
fucking hot.
Earth? How deep is the center of the Earth?
Pretty deep.
4,000 miles.
Yeah.
8 to 4,000.
Yes, but we're
8, 4,000. 8, 4,000.
Well, you see, you just dig down and it's like, oh shit, it's hot.
Now come on. Stay right on the surface. Come down to Earth.
We put bodies at 6 feet. So.
Exactly. You ever wonder why we put bodies at only 6? Because if we go 2 more feet.
I know this is it's such a wild concept. I know it's a wild concept.
It is.
But if you look into it, you'll say, hey, that makes sense.
Fellow right here needs to be enlightened.
If you're sitting on a boat, if you're sitting on the deck of a boat,
You got needs to get woke.
Thank you.
why would you?
She won't take one yet.
Don't believe this.
Everybody have one who wants one? All right.
Yours is not an extreme argument.
The Earth is actually
If
cube.
you're sitting on the deck of a boat, you can see a certain distance. Why can you see further if you climb up higher on the boat?
Because your angle changes, that's all.
Why should the angle matter if it's completely flat?
What's that called? Angular resolution.
Angular resolution.
Angular resolution. When you are up at a different angle, you can distinguish things. Did you ever look down a road? Now, some people will say it's the heat making the waves off the road, but you'd ever see down the road on a flat surface, and it looks like a mirror down there? Okay, that's because all of those things kind of blend together, and you can't distinguch them. So it's called angular resolution.
What about the tests they've done where they go to shore and they set up one of those giant laser pointers on a tripod and they keep it at a set angle, and then they have a boat with a flat panel on the side and they try it at set distances and notice the further they get out because the boat is lower because of the curve.
And who did that experiment?
Who did that experiment? You want me to look it up?
No, it was a guy in a wheelchair. What was his name?
Stephen Hawking?
Yeah.
Actually, no, Einstein was.
Yeah, Hawkins did that, and it was one of those Discovery Channel things, right? Okay, we have many laser experiments that we did in the flat Earth community, and you get different results. So look up flat Earth laser experiments, and you'll see different ones.
Okay, so you described gravity as more of a push rather than a pull, right?
Yeah.
So then, realistically, shouldn't these two objects fall down at the exact same time?
No, it's the same thing. I know you're going to do that, but no, because it's the same thing. What reality is reality. We see things fall different rates. That's fine, and it's the same thing. But we're not being pulled, we're being pushed. See, now, if you were in a vacuum, they would fall the same rate in a vacuum, but there's ether here. AETHER. That's when Einstein rejected that and he came up with the theory of relativity.
I'm going to say my strong debate for another person. Actually, there are many people like you, in a way, but are on a more extreme level, which I prefer to debate.
What kind of level?
I prefer interacting, debating against other people who are like you, that are more extreme.
More extreme?
Yep.
How can you get more extreme than me?
I'm sorry, but you're going to have to fight.
Here, just look that up.
Is the government
Look this up.
money's in the Middle East?
I'm good.
Westboro Church.
Bam.
Everybody get one?
Nope. All right, I'm done.
You can look it up. You can ask me a question. I'm here if you need it.
The government is lying to us.
If gravity doesn't exist and it's a push from above rather than a pull from below, then why does that force lessen the higher up you get? How does an orbit exist then?
Well,
Can't say the O word.
I don't know. I'm thinking it has something to do with the density of the ether, or
Density of the atmosphere.
I'm not sure. You're saying that we have weightlessness up there? Is that what you're saying?
Near weightlessness.
I don't think that's true. I think the atmosphere is less dense, but I don't think we have weightlessness. We still fall. Baumgartner, the Red Bull guy, he supposedly went up way high, right? And he still fell.
Yep.
People fall out of airplanes, but so that doesn't
not
really
high enough.
change.
It's because they didn't go up high enough.
I don't think that changes. I don't think it changes no matter the height. It doesn't change.
Here's the question.
It better be serious.
If the government
I
is
know
lying
your
to us-
type here. I know you.
My type?
You mocked,
Oh, man.
you mocked
I mean,
me
I'm
before.
tall,
No,
I'd like
you
to
are a
be
mocker. So you mocked me before. So I'm up with a serious question
I'm
now.
asking if the
A mockingbird? A mockingbird?
If the government has been lying to us, does that mean that they've been actually funding the jihadis in the Middle East?
I don't know that.
I mean, the extent of the government's lies, we don't know how deep it goes.
No, we don't. So ask me something that's on the banner.
No, but if I ask you
That's
something
all
that's
I'm
on the
doing
banner-
is the banner today, guys. You want to get into other stuff, that's your job.
Everything on the banner is statements, not questions.
You get one?
My friend here.
Sure.
Can I have a Thank you.
You're welcome. You were going to ask me a question.
Oh, no, I just want, actually, yeah. Why are you wearing it?
Oh, for demonstration. So I can demonstrate the compass going through from Australia to the North Pole. It has to go through the Earth, and that wouldn't work. See? And then some people say, oh, it goes around the Earth. No. Yeah, how does it work in Australia, the compass? How does a compass work in Australia? It always points to the magnetic North Pole.
Okay.
So you're in Australia, how does your compass work?
It points to the magnetic.
It goes through the Earth? It goes through the Earth? How does that work?
It goes through the
How does it work?
I mean, it goes through the
How does it work?
Directions don't go in a straight line.
Will it still connect to the magnet above a table? It will, correct?
What?
If you have a magnet below a table, right? You
Okay.
also have a magnet above the table. Will it stick together? They will.
Well, so that's what you're saying, it goes through. You're saying it goes through?
Correct.
That's what you say?
Correct.
I disagree. I think that it's flat, and it just
the magnetic
points.
force is
I think
the
it
same
just-
as the force with a magnet, correct? They're the same force, correct? So then, if your magnetic force can go through a solid object, such as a table, why can't it go through an object like the Earth?
Well, it would have to be really strong, wouldn't it?
Because the Earth is tens of thousands of billions of pounds.
And you don't know that either. If we only dug a hole 8 feet deep, you don't know how much the mass
So then where's the
is.
lava come from that's used from volcanoes? Where's that
Well,
force?
we have theories on that.
Yeah.
And it's not from the center of the Earth.
Right. So where's it from?
Well, they say it's just tubes near the surface.
Tubes that stem from where?
Just the
Where do those
surface.
tubes go from?
Somewhere
Where's lava
between
stored?
8 miles
The
and
lava has to
above,
be
I don't
stored
know.
somewhere, correct?
I
where's
don't
it
have
stored?
really lava on there, so I don't.
Right. Okay. So
But
you
we
can't
do
see
have a
these
guy-
things because they disprove your theory.
No, they don't disprove anything.
Why not? So then why can't you entertain that? Why is there a logical solution? See, now we have two solutions. We have a round Earth solution and a flat Earth solution, right? If the round Earth solution has an answer for all these questions and the flat Earth solution does not, then why are you still sticking with the flat Earth solution even though there's more logical conclusions on the round Earth?
Okay, because everything to do with the round Earth, they make it up. And you just have to believe it, and you can't prove any of it.
So we just
Wait,
have
you
we just have to
can't.
have blind faith.
You
because
can't
there's
prove.
no evidence.
You have the blind faith. You have the blind
have to have
faith.
faith.
You do.
There's not all the answers, but if we just look hard enough, if we believe hard enough,
This is
eventually
a
it will
religion,
become true.
because a religion, you have to believe what they tell you.
Exactly, and the other is reality.
I know it's reality that there's no curvature. I know that's a reality.
But why do you believe that?
Because
Without
I went to
sufficient evidence.
Wildwood and I saw Atlantic City,
Right.
32.6 miles away.
Okay.
And you shouldn't be able to do that. I also went to Jim Thorpe and I saw Indiantown Gap 60 miles away.
Right. Why not?
I also can see Chicago across Lake Michigan.
Right. Why
So
not?
those are facts.
Yes.
I can prove
And
myself.
what's your point?
That's fact, but you can't prove it.
But
You
what's
can't
causing-
prove
what's
anything
causing
on
that?
here.
What's causing that?
My eyeballs?
Right.
Can I ask you?
Is there? Well, let's think. Is there a different logical solution?
For seeing something farther than I should be able to?
Yes.
No.
Because of elevation. Now, if you're on top
No,
of
I'm
the hill,
stand-
you can then see farther, which you also said previously.
Right.
You said that if the Earth is flat,
If you change the
reason-
plane,
Exactly.
angular resolution.
Right.
So if I stand
And
on
then
the
you also have
shore
a- right,
of
okay.
Wildwood and I look and I see the shore of Atlantic City,
Right.
that's right across the
Now,
surface.
what else? Now, if you also mentioned Lake Michigan, right?
That's right up there on the
Okay.
picture.
What do all those things have in common?
Me too.
Water.
They're all near water, which does what to light?
I'm Emily. Nice
Which
to meet you.
reflects light.
Oh, are you left-handed?
Reflects
Are you
it.
left-handed?
Refracts.
Reflects
okay.
and reflects light.
Right.
Which can bend light to your eye.
So you think it's
Therefore, it can
bending light?
change the angle.
No, because the guy, Rob Skiba, got in a boat and he went from all the way across that and it was no refraction.
Yeah, because you can't see reflection from up close. Of course you couldn't, because the light doesn't have time to change. It takes.
It's not a
space to
mirage.
change.
It was not a mirage. It was not refraction. That's
Right.
exactly. He focused his video camera the whole way, the whole 2-hour trip,
Okay.
right across, and it never changed.
Except when it shoots.
Because he's looking at something close to him.
No,
If
it
you-
was 60
if you
miles.
were here to your car,
60
the ground
miles
would look
away.
the same.
No, it's 60
Even if it was
miles.
water, it would look the same.
60
If you-
miles
if you
is
swam-
1,700
if you
feet
swam-
of curvature.
If you swam in water for 60 miles, would it look any different?
No, because it's flat.
Of course
Because
not.
it's flat.
You're looking at it from
Because this is a lie. Because it's flat. Because it's flat.
Because you're looking at it from 5 feet.
Yes, his turn.
Who benefits from telling you the Earth is round? Like, what is the overall benefit?
Did you get one of these?
I have Can I get one?
Okay, yes.
Thank you. I want to read this.
I have a question.
Wait 1 second. Here, read this line here. What's the difference between being educated with lies or being uneducated? There's no difference.
There's a difference between lies that have substance versus lies that are just for lies.
No, the kings did not want the serfs to read because the serfs, if they were educated, they would be harder to control.
Yeah,
this is all about control. If they lie to us, they can tell us anything.
If the Earth is flat versus if it's round, I'm doing the same shit. I'm fucking the same girls. I'm eating the same burgers.
You are?
The Illuminati.
Like, I don't understand like what.
Why does it matter? How do they get?
Yeah, it's like I'm still getting my bachelor's in film. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like regardless of how the Earth is shaped. You know? And like how do you how do you
So it doesn't matter to you if you're lied to, and you'll just believe that, and you'll go along to get along, right?
But initially, why they lie to you?
If you pour Pepsi
why do they?
I won't notice the fucking difference.
Okay, doesn't matter,
You know what I mean?
right? Okay.
Here's a quick question.
All right. So truth does matter. Because you can't really build anything on a lie, because when you find the truth out, then it'll crumble.
But there's a lot more built on the fact the Earth is round.
So if you just want to, grow up and get a job and pay all your taxes to a government that lies to you, then that's what you want to do. That's okay.
But that's not answering my question.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that.
My question,
but if you want to say no, you want to live in truth, then you're not going to take the lies anymore.
But isn't that a domestic issue, not like...
No, because ever since the Antarctic Treaty, all the governments of the world have not been against each other at all. Even before that, I think. But the Antarctic Treaty really solidified that. There are no world enemies.
So we have one world government.
Yeah.
Why are there wars?
Well, obviously.
Why? Why? Because I'll tell you, Gaddafi was not on board with the world government. And he was doing... Did you know how well the Libyan people were living?
Huh?
The Libyan people had a wonderful life. He did so much for them. He was a really benevolent leader. So we went over there and we killed... Are you going to listen or are you going to interrupt me?
Well, like, you can't just get away with
I
mean, I'm sorry.
I am not here to debate you. I am here to give you information, and you have to decide for yourself. But Gaddafi was a good guy, and they killed him, and then they destroyed his man-made river. Look up the man-made river.
The reason why they killed Gaddafi was because Gaddafi threatened.
Would you kill your own mom?
Because he was going to start a gold-backed currency. It has nothing to do with the flat Earth or the Antarctic Treaty.
It has to do with lies. It has to do with lies.
Of course the government lies to us, but this is...
Of course the government lies.
Sorry.
How is that relevant?
This has nothing to do with the government. No, what's the truth? What's the truth?
Did you ever take geometry?
Yes, dear. I have a 4-year college degree.
It's basic geometry.
All right, tell me basic geometry why this is true.
You're the one
You could ask
here
him the
making.
same
Tell
question.
me.
You're the one
Why is this true?
Wait a minute.
Well, I have a You're the one here making.
Why is this true?
If the Earth is
Because
flat,
we
how does that
live on
count
an axis.
Can you tell me about curvature formula? Where is that? Where's the curvature?
It's in pi and theta.
Oh, can you figure it out? I mean, I'll help you with the math.
Well, pi revolves around theta.
If the equator is 24,901, then we need a formula for how far out it goes and how far down it drops.
What if I made it simpler and I said that everything was light, and light is basically sound, so everything is as a wave, and a wave has a shape. So therefore, that we're made out of ultraviolet light. So we're just radiation.
Okay, in order to have any kind of discussion, we have to say that this is reality. We are living in a reality. It's not a hologram. Okay, so in reality, this has curvature, and there is none.
But a serious question.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe that I have a serious question? Or
Right,
you don't believe the flat
right,
Earth?
you're right.
You don't believe the flat Earth? Okay. Anyway, climate. How does the flat Earth account for different seasons?
Well, come over here.
Because seasons, as they generally are,
based on when where the
So,
Earth is in relation to the sun.
no, the sun is up here on Capricorn or Cancer. It's very close to us. I would say between 10 and 100 miles close to the Earth. That's where the
So
sun
if I flew up
is.
in a rocket,
So-
I'd be able to touch the sun.
Then actually, you start looking at some flat Earth videos, and you will see the sun very close.
See a few, but a lot of them are simulated.
So here we go. Then the equator, that's our spring and fall. And then when it's in Capricorn, now it's going to be in Capricorn. It'll touch Capricorn December 21st. That's the winter solstice.
Right, but how does that account for different
Because the sun is
areas?
close. That's why. The sun is close.
But if the sun were close enough, how close are the static environment? Like, wouldn't if the sun were 100 miles away, wouldn't it melt the Arctic and Antarctic ice caps?
No, because it's not that hot. The sun.
Is the sun like my?
So the sun isn't like hot, it's just kind of temperate. Like,
Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a map of a modern map? Now on here we see there's white around there, but there's some ancient maps that show there's actually land there, and modern maps show that it's all water at the North Pole.
Right, that would make sense.
So is there land there, or is there just water at the North Pole? I think there's land there, and they're trying to hide that.
There is land there.
It's ice, but it's
That's not even.
Modern maps show that it's water.
There's ice covering land.
Yeah.
Modern maps show there's water.
So how close is the sun?
Yeah, 10 to like 10 to 100 miles.
10 to 100 miles?
Yeah.
Right, so how high up do planes fly? Yours is
5, 7 miles.
So you're right there next to the sun?
Yeah.
Right? So then when you're in a plane, why doesn't the sun look any bigger? Why is the sun still the same size?
The sun does shrink.
No, it would get bigger. It would get bigger.
Okay. The
The
second, did you get one of these? Okay. Okay, look. You go here, and the second video is a time lapse of the sun, and it will show that it does shrink when it goes
Here's the
away.
thing, like using
but
point number
so
6
look,
up here.
Right, when my hand is right here to you,
Yeah.
it's really big, correct? But when it's way back here, it's fairly small.
I don't think I've ever
So the
seen
closer you
an
are to an
airplane that
object-
has gone really close to the sun. I think
Because
they route it,
because it's far away.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Maybe
Or-
because it's across the solar
or they
system.
route around it.
You don't even need to use your own diagram. Look at diagram
Wait,
number
how
6
close
up
are you
here.
If it's right here in the middle of the Earth, how would you route around it?
Between 10 and 100, you know that.
Okay.
I don't know that.
So
Well, we
if
said
that's
it
true,
3
then
times.
again, why isn't it bigger? I wonder where. Say you're flying at 7 miles. Even if it's 100 miles away, it should be about 1/10 bigger, right?
Yeah.
Why isn't it?
How do you know it's not?
Because you can see it with your eyes.
You can see the sun, and you can see it like here, okay? That's the sun.
Correct.
So, and this video, the second video, will show you that when it goes away, it gets smaller. In the right atmospheric conditions.
Wait, can I have you explain?
So I have never flown close to the sun. I don't know that.
Have you ever flown before?
Yeah, my dad was a pilot. I
then-
dated a pilot who owned an airport.
Right. So then, if you've flown before and you've flown often, then you've seen that the sun is the same size then because you've flown before. So with
I've
your
never.
own eyes,
You're not allowed to fly close to the sun. Why would you do that anyway? It's like.
because it's trillions of miles away. Of course you can't fly.
Well,
close to it.
that's your answer.
And
It's
your
not
answer
my
is that you
answer.
just fly around it.
Yeah.
So then, if you wanted to go from like Greenland to South America and the sun is right here, how would you fly around it?
There was
If
a
it's sitting
woman.
right here in the middle.
There was a woman.
Get like yeeted by the sun.
There was a woman who was in the Philippines, and she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And they were flying to Los Angeles.
Right.
She went into labor, and they landed in Alaska because it's a straight line. But if it was on a globe, they wouldn't have gone there. Here,
From the Philippines.
they
to
would have
Alaska.
been here.
I get it now.
They wouldn't have
Or
gone
maybe
to
they were
Alaska.
flying and they decided that we didn't have time to make it to Alaska, so they took a slight left turn.
They said no,
That would be
that
a
it
little
was
bit more
closer.
logical.
If you look these things
That
up,
would be
you'll
a little
see
bit
it.
more logical, wouldn't it? If they took a left turn. For how they
I don't think they did. I think they were right over
I think
it.
that would be a little bit more plausible, right? I mean, look, like you have. All
It
the
would be
solutions,
plausible.
right?
It would be
Such long,
plausible
convoluted
for a
solutions
globe.
that all these things have to
It
be
makes it
perfectly
sound
correct.
right in your mind for the globe, but I'm saying it doesn't.
But then again, all of these hypotheses that we round earthers have are just so conclusive, and yours is so
No,
open-ended.
they're
and so
not.
much
No, they're not
through.
conclusive at all because you can't find curvature anywhere. You cannot personally find curvature.
Really? Have you been to the shore?
Yeah,
Even on the beach, look at the ocean.
Yeah.
You don't see a curve in the earth?
No.
Really?
No.
So you're taking an eye exam?
Now you're gonna.
You might want to take an eye.
That's a personal attack. See.
It is.
So here you go.
Right.
When you go to the shore, take a level with you, because I see this. There's a hole in here.
Right.
And I set this up down there on a tripod, and I say, now look from this end. How far can you see? And it goes all straight.
Are you going to be here at 3 today?
I don't think I'm going to last that long.
It's like 1.
It's 1
I want to
o'clock.
catch this after my class. Because it's interesting.
Take a picture of this, and if you look on this website, you'll have everything on the banners is right here.
I got one.
Okay, everything on the banners is on the card video.
Gravity's a pushing force, right?
Pardon?
Gravity's a pushing force?
Gravity, they say, is a pulling force.
Right.
And I say diamagnetism is more of a pushing force.
So then diamagnetism will be a universal force regardless, right? It should always be the same strength, right?
Yeah.
Wherever you are in the earth, it should be the same strength.
Yeah.
So then how come gravity's weaker the further you go from the earth's surface? How come?
Is that true?
It is, yes. Like
I don't know that.
Actually, if you drop the bowling ball at the seashore, it would fall at 9.8 meters per second. If you drop the bowling ball on Mount Everest, it would fall at about 9.7 meters per second. Because gravity is weaker the further you go away from the center of the earth, because the earth is a sphere and gravity stems from the center of mass.
Yeah, I've never done that experiment myself.
Yeah, you should try it.
Yeah, I should try that, yeah. So, what was I going to say? Oh.
The higher you go up in altitude,
Here you go.
the less gravity
Can you explain this to me?
What's that?
This is the spinning globe.
Correct.
It's on an axis, and it spins.
Right.
So if the equator is around 24,000 miles, so for that to get around in one day, it has to spin how many miles an hour?
It's about 1,000 miles an hour.
1,000 miles an hour, right. So what happens at the equator? How come we don't weigh less?
You do actually do weigh less at the equator.
Really?
Actually, you do. Actually, you do. Yes.
That's wrong.
It's
totally wrong. No.
You just said it's the equator. You actually weigh less.
There is every single planet.
Yeah, I wanted.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
I wanted to ask that.
I don't know that. See, you're thinking about all the planets, and you're thinking Earth is a planet. So, with the Big Bang Theory, everything is the same.
Right.
And
so you said the
but
sun.
it's not.
And you have a picture of the sun as a
It's not.
sphere.
It's
The
totally
Earth is
different.
Actually, the moon's also a sphere too in your diagram. So I want to know, how did the Earth form to be different than both the sun and the moon?
Well, obviously, it was not by the Big Bang.
Okay. So
Either an ancient civilization or an ancient person or an ancient something created this realm we live in.
So did they smush the Earth? Or did
what made them
take it around?
So we just found this realm.
Right.
We did not do anything to create it.
Okay.
We live here. It was this way. I mean, it's like you weren't the first one to build your house. I mean, you moved into a house. We're moving in here. We have to know what it's like.
So if Virgin Airlines, now they're in like 10 or 15 years, they're going to do like the people in outer space. If they do,
They're not.
and if it was ever successful,
They're not doing that.
If they did, would you ever?
That's all. They just said all that stuff to make you think that it could be done. And it's not.
Would you ever want to take
How
a
come when
ride up
companies
there?
build bridges
So maybe see if it's flat or not?
No, because I don't want to get into that because I know it's false and they kill people.
Wait, so
I know their one pilot died.
So I don't want to even. Well, you like one?
How come when companies build bridges, they actually have to adjust for the curvature of the
They
Earth
don't.
in their formation
They
of the
don't.
bridges? Really?
It's all how the bridge is constructed. That's all. It's
They
just
have
to hold
adjust for the
it.
curvature
No,
of the
they
Earth to
don't.
make a long enough bridge.
No, they don't. They do not.
Well, how wouldn't that?
I'll tell you,
my
here's
question
a
is-
quest for you.
Okay.
Okay? Manhattan is what? How long is Manhattan? 2 miles, a mile? I don't
On
know.
the other side?
So,
Something like that.
so look at all the upright buildings.
Right.
That would mean that the tops of the buildings have to be apart farther than the bottoms. If there's curvature, there does.
Because the Earth isn't complete.
If a bridge does,
Earth
then the
isn't
buildings
complete.
do.
No, because you're talking about the buildings are 2 miles apart. The bridge is much longer than 2 miles.
What bridge?
The bridges that go
Golden
from
Gate
Florida
or-
to Key West, it's like 10 miles long.
There's no standards on those bridges. Come on, you need a bridge with standards on it.
They do have standards. What do they float?
The Earth only curves every 3
They aren't
the bridge-
suspension bridges. You're talking about a suspension
Regardless,
bridge.
it doesn't have to be a suspension bridge to incorporate the
I
curvature.
went over the Lake Pontchartrain Bridge. No curvature. 24 miles.
It's minute.
So what about mirages in the ocean, like when you watch a ship go below the horizon?
We have a lot of good footage on that. It's amazing.
Who makes
really?
Bridges? Who makes all these bridges?
I'm sorry?
Who makes the bridges? Private corporations do. So how would the private corporation figure out from the government that that their Earth was flat? They didn't have to incorporate this Coriolis effect.
Well, how do they get those contracts?
Why would they say that?
How do they get the contracts?
Yeah, but the government doesn't do any of the computing.
There's very few people who are privy to this, and they just tell them that there's no curvature. They do not account for it. They do not account for curvature. You can say that they do, and I say that they don't. So now everybody else has to figure out who's telling the truth.
What's the private corporation's incentive for saying that they calculate for curvature? What's their incentive?
That I don't understand.
Right there. Where is it?
Like that's not
okay.
Money, 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 money. Where is the money
thing?
Well,
let's just say it's money.
Where is that thing? Oh, here, right there. Money, money, money.
What's the government?
It also says paycheck. Everybody.
Control. Money. Control. Power.
What does that matter?
Why does it matter?
Yeah. How does you know that the Earth is flat? Does it change the rest of
Why does the government want control?
No. Why do they want you to think that the Earth is round? What benefit does that have?
Because if they can tell us lies and we believe it, they can tell us anything, and then we'll just follow them. And we'll be obedient.
They
want people to obey.
I think we have finally found something.
They want to obey.
We need to look at facts instead of what the government tells us or institutions tell us.
Right, right.
See, that's something we can agree upon.
All right.
But then when you're presented with facts, dispute them. When you're presented with things like
you didn't present me with facts.
You can't
You presented me with something in a textbook, and I reject that.
Right? Okay, then again, we'll go back to lava. Where's the lava stored at?
I don't know.
You don't know, right?
You don't know either.
I do. It's stored in the Earth's crust. In the Earth's
no,
mantle.
you're not.
In the Earth's mantle.
It doesn't go to the center of the Earth. You can't prove that. You can't prove any of that.
My solution has a